Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines and, most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. Rest assured, anybody who comes on my content, whether it is this weekday live show or my twice-a-week long-form podcast, is in the transportation industry, ladies and gentlemen. It's one of the biggest things for me is providing real information that you can put out there. This is the real side of freight. And we want to put it out there so you can apply it, utilize it, and see any meaningful difference in your business and your life. It's one of the many reasons why I proudly fly this American flag behind me every single day is A, it's the greatest nation on earth, but B, I'm living my American dream, and I want to help each and every one of you guys live your American dream as well. We got a very special show. It's going to be a solo show. I got guests coming on next week. This week has been, hectic in a good way. I've had a lot of moving pieces coming on in the brokerage, and increasing my output with customers and prospecting and everything else. And I do have a little Friday freight tip that we will get into here in a second. But before we do that, you guys, I got to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub, vhubapp.com. Whether you're a broker, shipper, or a carrier, we all need access to trailers. And right now, this is a great way to help my small fleets and my owner operators help offset some of those costs, because you get paid to move these trailers. And this is a great opportunity out there for some of my brokers who are trying to break in with new customers. It's not always about the dollars and cents of things. They have a drop trailer round trip opportunity that you can do. So if you're out there prospecting in Dallas or up in Canada, and they're looking to move stuff back down in and out of there, you guys, they have Long Sault, Ontario to Hutchins, Texas. And then you can grab another trailer out of Dallas and go back up to Long Sault. And you round trip it. So you would have to round trip it. But again, you can create a drop trailer pool here, you guys, and run that stuff back and forth. So get creative. On top of that, they also have put in an offer. Go over to VHub app. It's St. Cloud, Minnesota, as well as down in Mason City, Iowa, going to Mississauga, Ontario. It's a reefer. Put your offer in there. Milton, Ontario to Moncton, New Brunswick. You get 400 Canadian to move that. Winnipeg, Manitoba to Vaughan, Ontario. You get 500 Canadian to do that. And then finally, Paragould, Arkansas to Orting, Washington. You get $1,550 to do that. That's on top of the revenue that you can get by loading out those trailers, ladies and gentlemen. So hit them up, vhubapp.com. My friends Stacy Steen and Xavier Campos, they're in the audience. Just do me a favor. Hit them up. Let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. Chris Carmichael, good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Tracy O. St. Clair, happy Friday. Thank you for joining. N. Mota, good day all, he says. Zach Williams, happy Friday, coach. Let's fucking go. Zach's with SPI Logistics, you guys. You guys want to become an independent freight agent, take control of your financial future, join the team. Nicholas Novak, happy Friday. Thanks for joining. Papa Freight, Stephen Title is in the house. Thank you for joining. Tono Lippi, happy Friday, Super Bowl weekend. Let's go. LinkedIn user with the kiss face. Thank you so much. Fucking A. I know exactly who that is. All right, you guys, we are also at day 220 of the Freight Coach Morning Show, which is also the 220th reminder that there's a truck parking issue as well as a facilities issue in this industry, you guys. And we are going to continuously bring these things up time and time again until there is actual meaningful change out there. I don't do this for vanity metrics. I don't push a narrative one side or the other. I just bring facts for you guys because I'm concerned about moving this fucking industry forward, an industry that has literally given me everything in my life. Also, national average for diesel fuel, $4.53 a gallon. It's up 58 cents a mile or gallon year over year as a whole. I get this information from the EIA, you guys, at EIA.gov. And it also makes me think of my friends over at Trucker Tools, longtime supporters of the show and everything that I'm doing out there. If you're a driver, the app's free, but like you can go on there and put your lane in there and you can see where the most cost-effective fuel stops are along the way. So this is a way for you to help, see like you might get some more efficient fuel pricing just a couple miles down the road and help you plan out your trip. So yeah, check that out, you guys. Michelle LeBlanc in the house, dropping hook, hit her up. You guys need help with content? She's my go-to for a lot of stuff. Michelle says, oh, is it annual truck bottleneck season already again? Can't wait for the yearly shout out to my neighbors in New Jersey. Yeah, it is. We're definitely breaking down that article here. So again, if you're just kind of new to following me and new to tuning in, I used to do daily couple-minute videos on tips and tricks in the industry. And as my businesses have evolved, I've had to be more mindful of my content. So I'm trying to wrap it all up in there. Cause again, I see all the bullshit out there on LinkedIn and social media that you guys do too. Some advice is good, some advice not so much, but I'm here to bring that back and kind of tie a lot of that in there with just real applicable stuff. A lot of you guys know, I'm building out my freight brokerage right now and this whole media thing. And I'm just going to bring you guys the reality of what I'm faced against because, it's not always sunshine and gumdrops. Real shit happens. But I got a message from a buddy of mine who's a shipper. Yeah, that's right, you guys. A very large shipper who watches my show a lot. And he wanted to give some advice on prospecting through LinkedIn. Again, like the people out there that we're going up again, like we're out there prospecting and everything. A lot of my friends who are shippers who watch the show, they want you guys to succeed. All right. Like they're not out there hoping that everybody fails. They're trying to help you actually understand what they're looking for from their perspective. And with what he had said in there is, give me a second here. LinkedIn connections versus LinkedIn InMail doesn't equal strategic partnerships. He went on to further say, because it's that instantly you connect with somebody and then you hit them with a DM or a sales pitch right away. I'm guilty of that. I've done that in the past, but I've kind of since changed my ways. But he talks about this, and it's an introduction and add value. Have a conversation with them, and it's also like if you're out there looking at, you're connecting with shipping managers or companies and everything else, position yourself to just like add value to them, right? Like it's not instantly, hey, I'm a freight broker. Give me your freight. I can do this. I can save you money, everything else. I see this shit all the time. But, especially my friends that are shippers out there send me this stuff. And these are the messages that they're getting. But they're telling you like, hey, if you're going to connect with us, but like have a conversation. Relationships are built in time, you guys. And, because he says, and add value, and that equals a conversation eventually. And conversation lead to resources, and resources lead to business. And I think that, it's very much aligned with how you can go about and focus on building a relationship, even through cold calling and cold emailing and everything else. This is a process that you need to follow. And if it's instantly, hey, give me all of your business, you're going to find yourself in an extreme uphill battle. And, because it's always, let me tell you about this and that and everything else. And, it's where can you find the gaps? Where can you find the gaps in it? What information that can you provide to your prospects if you're going to utilize social media? Like, again, I utilize social media for like 90% of my business because at this point in time, it's been built into I would call it a behemoth monster, and it's very recognizable. My brand has fortunately grown through a lot of hard work, through a lot of discipline and everything else to get it out there. And it's utilizing social media it's a very powerful tool because the replay of all of these shows and stuff that are out there, that's consistently working in my favor. And it's consistently keeping my brand out there. And I'm providing information on the industry at hey, just use it if you want. This is just coming from my perspective. And there's a lot of value in that. I have a very large audience of shippers who watch my show, fortunately, and I've befriended a lot of them over the years here. And they're willing to help you guys. Like I literally have shippers come on my show a lot, and they give you everything you need to succeed when you're prospecting them. It just takes us applying it and backing away from those very basic and broad messages and instantly hitting them with, the chat GTP, whatever pitch right away. Get to know somebody, because not everybody you talk to is going to be a customer of yours. But what if they know somebody who could be? Think of it like that. Think of it from a long-term perspective. So that's my little freight tip for Friday. And again, I'm going to be doing my daily videos here and get it all. So It's yeah, that's it. Louis Montano, what's up? Thanks for joining in. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. He says, Catherine Radcliffe, she says, hello, everyone. So excited to be here. I'm new to the industry and so ready to learn. We're live every single weekday, Catherine, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central. Michael Perez, flexing. What's up, dude? I love it. Harmon Chima, brother, what is going on? Dude, Harmon's a great person to connect with as well, you guys. He's in charge of a large fleet. And Harmon, you got to come back on the show, man. I got to have you back on here so we can talk. All right, you guys, we are going to get into a couple of articles. And let me see here. Sorry, I'm fucking skipping through stuff. I had too many screens open. I was winning freight this morning. give me a second. Okay, hold on one second here. Customer's texting me right now. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I'm in it with you. All right. I'm gonna continue to do this, but that's literally a customer of mine that I'm picking up a load for. So had to get that out there. But all right, first article we're gonna break down is from fleetowner.com. ATRI reveals top trucking bottlenecks for 2023. The entire state of New Jersey is listed. I'm just kidding. But yeah, you guys, and again, with a lot of this information, it's not always about the dollars and cents when you're going to a customer. All right. And then utilizing a lot of this information that I talk about on here. Like I have a catalog of articles on the industry that I break down every single day over on my YouTube channel and over on my podcast. If you're ever looking for a place to check these things out, I upload the links to all the articles that I break down. Just go over there and check them out. Use these to your advantage because again, they might not need you today, but again, adding value, adding conversation long-term, where could they use you? Trucking bottlenecks, traffic, all of that stuff that can help you when you're quoting. So I'm going to share my screen here because I want to show you guys this map on what they are showing here. Give me just one second. And here we go. All right. If you guys can see this map. Yeah. Michelle, New Jersey is number one, Fort Lee, New Jersey. But if you're having freight that's picking up or delivering or traveling through some of these major metropolitan areas, you guys, that does affect transit time. That does affect if, say you're moving a 300-mile load out of LA going over to Phoenix, Arizona, it's not necessarily a 7 to an 8 hour transit time with that. Like you could literally get hit in the Inland Empire and sit for 12 hours in traffic. So as you're bidding that out, as you're talking about transit times and everything else, take that into consideration as you're doing it. Anyways, back into the article. Let me see here. Kristen Vossler, happy Friday. Thanks for joining in. Michelle LeBlanc says, fair. At least we know how to drive in the snow here. But yeah, just don't drive over the GW ever. Oh, that's funny. Traffic congestion has apparently returned to pre-pandemic conditions as for the second year in a row, trucking researchers have measured slower average speeds for truckers along U.S. highways. So which highways are the biggest choke points? Excuse me. The American Transportation Research Institute released its annual list of the worst bottlenecks for trucks in the U.S., revealing that for the fifth consecutive year, you guys are the reigning champions of this, Michelle, that the where is it? That the New Jersey side of the GW Bridge, which stands for the George Washington Bridge, where I-95 and State Route 4 intersect in Fort Lee, tops the list. The 2023 bottleneck list, analyzed by more than 300 locations on national highways using databases. Let's see, it's going out there. It measures the average rush hour truck speed to be 36.3 miles per hour, which is 6.1% slower than 2022's report. Of the nation's top 100 bottlenecks, almost half saw average truck speeds of less than 45 miles an hour over a 24-hour periods, no rush hour. Clearly, we are seeing a rate of return to pre-pandemic traffic conditions. Rebecca Brewster, who's the CEO over there, said the bottleneck data is valuable to carriers who can view hourly congestion rates at each of the checkpoints. She said fleets have told them that they use the data to schedule more efficient pickup and delivery times with customers, avoiding them. Again, you guys talking about that. Like, this is some information as you're building up partnerships with customers. If you're seeing that, bring that information to them as well. Like, hey, can we pick this up before rush hour traffic or after rush hour traffic? Does it have to be during smack dab in the middle of it? Because that can increase delays and everything else. Because again, you guys, the dollars and cents of this, although a component, isn't everything when it boils down to it. And again, like information is at plenty right now. There's literally information all over the place for you guys to use, and it's free too. It's free. Let's see. They're also talking about identifying improved outdated infrastructure is where they also use this data, citing construction on the in Chicago's Jane Byrne interchange, and as an example of the expansion product that's out there. Speaking, on the Infrastructure Jobs Act, I do think certainly the industry has applauded the infrastructure bill, but the reality is we're going to feel the pain up front for a little bit. A lot of times we see locations pop up on the bottleneck because of the construction. Take, for instance, in Chicago, where it's number 2 on the list and everything else. And yeah, it goes through. Hold on. I'm going to scroll through. There's a bunch of these maps out there. But again, talking about the traffic bottlenecks, this is a good one for you to hold on. Let me see. Their bottleneck report highlights the areas of transportation network needed investment. So again, like as we all know, the infrastructure investment is coming in. It's going to be a few years before we see a lot of the rewards of where that investment is coming from. But again, you guys, this information out here, it can only help you. All right. This is very informative. Traffic affects us all, whether you're a broker, carrier, or a shipper alike. And what tools can you use to bring this information out there? I also think Fleet Owner broke down an article a few months back on top theft cities in the United States and stuff like that. So again, it's bringing this information from a value add perspective, because as a lot of you are probably facing right now, before I say this, fleetowner.com was this article, ATRA reveals top truck bottlenecks for 2023. As a lot of you guys are probably facing in your prospecting right now, is everybody's good, right? Everybody's good right now. They don't necessarily need help in from a capacity standpoint, but if you're truly committed to them long term, don't you think valuable information would be beneficial to them? Because here's the reality. I've seen this happen so many times in my career where you're prospecting somebody, they're not responding, they're not answering your calls, they're not returning your emails, anything like that. But then all of a sudden they randomly respond. And then they want to have a conversation, right? Or they're like, hey, we're not interested right now. We don't have anything for you right now, but we might later on this year, or, whatever that looks like, the feedback that you receive. This is a great segue it's like, how can you add your prospects information? Like they know you have capacity, right? Like, so there's no need to keep following up and saying, oh, I have trucks for you. I have trucks for you. They know that you have trucks. They know you have access to trucks. They're aware of all of that. But where can you stay present in front of them? And I think again, shameless plug to myself, watch this show, use this information and put it out there. Again, I put all the links out there on the YouTube channel and everything else. They're literally in one centralized location for you. So yeah, just, small favor. You guys go over to those other platforms and you guys check this show out. Do your boy a solid, subscribe and share, rank the show if you see value in it, because that's how we get it out there. That's how we've organically grown, which I would argue the largest organic growth in the industry. And that's why I have the top podcast in the industry as well, because of each and every one of you guys who keep coming back time and time again. Let me see here. Cody Miller says, good fucking morning, freight enthusiasts. Happy Friday. Cameron Lisk in the house. Happy Friday, everyone. He says, all right. So next article, freightwaves.com. Senate Republicans aim to abolish Biden's trucking emissions rule. Lawmakers introduced joint resolution weeks before rule is set to take effect. Senate Republicans introduced a joint resolution on Thursday to overturn their recent emissions reduction rule. The rule finalized by the EPA, or Environmental Protection Agency, in December, set to go into effect March 27th, sets stringent new standards for nitrous oxide and other pollutants for heavy-duty trucks, beginning no later than model year 2027. Red flags immediately were raised by truck manufacturers, large carriers, and owner-operators. Now 34 Senate Republicans, led by Deb Fischer of Nebraska, are pushing back as well. The Biden administration is saddling the trucking industry with an erroneous regulation that would jack up vehicle costs and hurt good-paying jobs. This aggressive EPA rule which will hit mom and pop truck operators the hardest, is also ineffective because it incentivizes operators to keep using older, higher emitting trucks for longer. During a period of high inflation and other supply chain disruptions, the last thing this country needs is more expensive freight costs and fewer truckers. Amen to that. Senator Roger Marshall from Kansas said that the regulation would particularly hit in his home state, where he said 98% of trucking companies operate 25 or fewer trucks. That's literally every trucking company in every state, just to clarify for Mr. Roger Marshall from Kansas. 98%, 97% of the trucks on the road are 20 to 25 truck or less operations. Under this new rule, these small businesses will take the hardest hit from this rule that requires them to spend as much as $8,000 per vehicle to be in compliance. This is yet another inflationary policy from the administration that the economy does not need. Couldn't agree more with that. Instead of using the traditional legislative process, lawmakers are attempting to fast track revocation of the rule by invoking the Congressional Review Act, and that law gives Congress a specified time period in which to submit a resolution out there. And then, but because a joint resolution can be vetoed by the president, such resolutions only have been successful when it controls both the House and the Congress. And yeah, they're talking about how the chances of passing this are zero, essentially, even if you get the both in House and Senate, that Biden would veto it. And I suspect the same. The reason the Senate is even attempting is that they show their voters and donors are fighting the administration for a number coming out there. I think that, again, it's putting more pressure on small business is never a winning recipe, right? Like, ever. And, and when you see the entire industry, as this article points out, the manufacturers of the truck are against it. Owner operators are against it. Large fleets are against it. This is where it's insane to me that this would be a thing, right? Like, we are actively seeing them. They are actively seeing that adding additional fees onto carriers or forcing them to drive in older trucks and everything. Again, I just don't think that it's a good thing at all. I don't agree with this move at all, but here it is, you guys. And again, this is just another subtle reminder. If you don't like the shit you see, remember, we the people, all right? Call your local representatives. Talk to them about this, you guys. Like, our industry isn't immune from this shit. Like, if anything, it's only going to get more and more challenging out there. This has a direct effect on capacity, all right? And if more capacity leaves the market, what happens? Rates are just going to rise. Like, that's the whole problem with a monopolistic viewpoint. That's why I am such a fan of how the trucking industry is structured. Like, is it perfect? No, nothing is. So I don't want to hear any of that crap. But like, there's a reason why 97% of this industry is small business. All right. This is an opportunity for them to go in there and make a name for themselves out there. And when you see the manufacturers, everyone in the industry is vehemently against this. Like, we need to do more. All right. We need to do more so this stuff doesn't affect it, because that is, if drivers leave, if trucks leave, that's going to, raise the cost of price to transit, because there's going to be less trucks on the road to haul. And if the prices go up, who pay for the rates that much? Who pays for it at the store? Eggs are already fucking $9 a dozen at most stores. Like, it's only going to come for everything else. Like, these things have a direct effect. It's a long term. I want to breathe cleaner air as well. All right. I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't. But where is the real benefit of this? I want to know. I want to talk to somebody about this. So if you're out there and you're listening to this show and you're a proponent of implementing this rule, I would love to invite you to come on here and talk to me about this. I want to hear it. I want to hear how this would be a benefit to the small fleets out there. How an additional $10,000 is a thing. I want to hear it. I honestly do, because I think California is the prime example of this, because at first it was just carb compliance, right? At first it just had to be a carb compliance. Now you can't even have a truck on the road that I don't have the numbers in front of me, but that are within a certain model, that are older than a certain model year. Then what's next? It won't stop. That's my whole thing. It won't stop from there. That article, a lot of good information in it. Again, I thought it was well written. That article is from FreightWaves. Senate Republicans aim to abolish Biden's trucking emissions rule. Louis says this happens when governments invest money on electric cars and trucks. Andre Stewart says, interesting comments. Can you expand your thought? Personally, I'm trying to figure out how electric push is happening when our infrastructure is already stressed. I don't see the electric push. I don't see it. Like we are so far away. Like, we'll just use the state of California as an example, who is the most stringent on this. Their power grid can't even operate right now, like at all. They have rolling blackouts literally every single year. How would adding electric vehicles to this solve their problems? It won't. It will make it exponentially worse. And again, natural disasters happen. We talk about this, right? Like the northern part of the country is frozen and everything else. And if it's electric, what happens when the power goes out, right? Like, because that stuff happens. How are we going to charge the ambulances and everything else to save people? Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that it can't happen, but it's not as easy as everyone thinks. And to sit here and say that whatchamacallit is better for the environment as a whole, that battery powered is better for the environment. I'm going to share my screen here, and I just want you guys to see what this is. This is a lithium mine. How is this environmentally friendly? How is this environmentally friendly? I would like to know. How is this environmentally friendly? This is a lithium mine. Lithium batteries, battery powered, electric. That's where it all comes from. So again, how is that better for the environment? I want to know than what we currently have. I don't see it being like, yes, it's a reality. It's out there. I'm not going to say but it's not better for the environment. No matter what they say, it's not better for the environment, because at the end of the day, I just, yeah. And then you could say with solar and everything else, what about all the native vegetation and everything where they're building these solar farms? Do those plants and animals deserve to die? Because they put them somewhere, right? Like, there's living creatures that are out there, right? So how is that better for the environment? I don't know. I don't see it, but I won't go too much into my soapbox, but that's all my opinion on that right now for this. But let me see here. Yeah, Louis, I think that that's a pretty fair statement, that it's about money and nothing else. And they're going to do mining in Nevada. Yeah, mining's a big part of it. I know it is, man. But to the hypocrisy of a lot of it is what gets me the most. Like, that's personally what gets me the most. I'm not a fan of it. I am a combustion engine fanatic. I love diesel fuel. I love the smell of diesel fuel. That's just where I'm at with it. And that's where I'll always stand. And I will die by that statement. That is what it is. But that's it. You guys, we're not going to get to the third article because of, time constraints and everything. Again, I'm out here. I got freight moving today. I got stuff going on just like you guys all do. And as always, I just want to be mindful of all of your guys' time, because I know that you guys are all moving and making stuff happen out there as well. So that is it for today. We will be back next week on Monday and every day, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central. As always, you guys, if you guys see value in what you heard here today, share the show, subscribe to it, rank it, share it, do all of that, you guys, because if you guys see value in it, your network's going to see value in it as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.